The next time Jaxon Smith-Njigba signs his nickname, he can put a $ between the J and the N. The Seahawks star just got paid in a big way. We'll tell you what it means for the Super Bowl champs. Free agency technically isn't over, but it's not too soon to discuss the most impactful moves so far. Our guys Jeffrey Chadia and Mark Ross join us tonight to talk Trent, Trey, Tua, and tons more. We're also going to visit from Drew Aller, who is on the radar for the Jets and plenty of other teams as the NFL draft approaches. So how high could the former Penn State quarterback go? We'll ask him what teams are telling him about the road ahead. Welcome inside with the Insiders. Alongside Mike Garafolo, Judy Batista, Ian Rappaport, I am Tom Pelissero. We are back from a one-week hiatus. Hope that you enjoyed your time away. Tons of action, trades around the NFL, 31 days out from the NFL draft. Let's start out with a guy who just cashed in. 3 years after going 20th overall in the 2023 draft, all JSN's done is win a Super Bowl, win Offensive Player of the Year, catch like 300 balls, and now the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. 4 years, $168.6 million on his contract extension, over $69 million in cash in the first 2 years, all fully guaranteed. Ian, no matter how you slice this one up, it is a massive payday for JSN.
Yeah, there is a new highest paid receiver in the NFL. It didn't take that long. It is JSN. You mentioned the numbers, $42+ million per year. That is the new money average. Also gets, you mentioned, $69 million fully guaranteed, $35 million in a signing bonus, $120 million in total guarantees, leapfrogging Jamar Chase as the new highest paid in the NFL. It's not just that JSN is productive, although obviously he is. He represents so much of what Seattle wants to do. Free agency came and went. That was last week, and 2 weeks ago. What we saw from Seattle was several of their key stars walk away to big money deals to other teams. The reason why is because the Seahawks needed room for this guy, just like they needed room for Charles Cross, just like they'll need room for Devin Witherspoon, just like next year they'll need room for Byron Murphy. This is what general manager John Schneider and Seattle wants to do. Draft, develop, and be able to pay their big-time superstars. And another one got paid in huge fashion today.
JSN gained his payday just 3 years after the draft, meaning he still had 2 years left on his rookie contract, including the option year, now signed through 2031. Everybody's in different situations, Judy, when we talk about wide receivers getting paid. JSN's payday came early, but if you're any top wide receiver, you just got to be sitting there going cha-ching, cha-ching at this point.
That's right. Really, the first wide receiver I thought of after I saw this deal was George Pickens, which was going to be an interesting situation with the Dallas Cowboys anyway. And now it just got even more interesting because it got even more pricey. Remember, Pickens is tagged. That means he will make $27 million from change if he plays on the tag. They would like to get a long-term deal done. They have until mid-July to do it. This certainly figures to complicate things because where do you slot a George Pickens in here? If they want to play hardball, his camp would certainly push, you would think, to get to the $40 million mark. Is there any chance the Cowboys would go there? Just remember when C.D. Lamb a couple of years ago got his extension, it went all the way to mid-August, late August, as a matter of fact. He did not come in at the top, right? He slotted in just behind Justin Jefferson. So it's going to be interesting to see where he comes in relative to this new contract for JSN and then the player who is likely to top JSN. Mike?
Judy, Pickens certainly one of the receivers I thought about. The other one being Puka Nacua because he was neck and neck with JSN this past season when it came to production and even when it came to potentially being the offensive player of the year. So Nacua also contract extension eligible and certainly has the case to say, look at the numbers. I should be making exactly what that guy's making, although everybody always pushes for more when they're the second one to do a deal. Now the Rams, Ian, you talked about the Seahawks and the guys that they have drafted and need to pay. The Rams have Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and those are the guys just in the defensive front right there. They have a lot of young guys they have to pay. So my understanding is this one's going to take more time. This one's going to be deeper into the summer, maybe up against the start of the season before we see a potential extension for Puka Nacua. Now, you don't have to worry about JSN. Well, will he show up for workouts? Will he be on the field for OTAs, training camp? How is Puka now going to handle this? That'll be a storyline I'm going to watch as we head into the late spring and early summer.
Certainly all those members of the draft class of 2023 who are up for extensions. The clock has officially started, though some of the GMs and owners involved might slightly disagree. Travis Kelce, way beyond his draft year, still making money, officially signing a contract today on paper, a 3-year, $54.7 million deal. Realistically, it's 1 year, $12 million, can earn up to $15 million with incentives, but they did do a 3-year deal, which gives them some optionality as he potentially considers his future again in the years to come. Kelce at this stage in his career certainly on a year-to-year basis here, but big news for Patrick Mahomes, who zoomed in to watch the signing ceremony, Mike. Travis Kelce back in 2026.
This draft is in the near future. That's right. We are now just 1 month away from the draft. So you got a lot more homework to do. We have a lot more homework to do. And we're going to do it with you here on the Insiders as we get ready for April 23rd in Pittsburgh, 8 p.m. Eastern. You see Ruben Bain, well, you did see him up there on the screen. You'll see him maybe in some of the highlights here from the Pro Day that was held today in Miami for the U. There's Mr. Bain, and here he was with our guy, Cameron Wolfe.
Ruben, thanks for joining us, man. We saw what you did all year. The tape you put on the college football playoff. What else did you want to show the scouts, the GMs, the head coaches that were here for your Pro Day today?
My versatility. I feel like most people didn't know I could just drop in coverage and move around like that.
Yeah, 30 yards down the field, you know?
Track balls, do anything I'm asked. I feel like I'm a versatile player, and that's what I showed today. Just knowing that I'm at a new weight, new body type, new style, and I'm just the same player. No matter what I'm doing, I could do anything in the game of football.
So you said new weight, new body type. What does that look like? Where do you want to play?
Right now I'm at 265. I feel like that's a playing weight for me. But I feel real good here. I feel explosive, still feel strong. Quick fist. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Quicker and faster. Just feeling like my old self. Feeling very, very agile and lean and loose, and just in a way where I could be my best version of myself.
Absolutely, and you still have that power. I saw it when you was popping them sleds, you know?
Yes, sir.
I'm laughing because I talked to your coach, Jason Taylor, before, and he was talking about how all ball you were. And he said one example is, he said 3 years they've been getting on you with your haircut, saying that you might look homeless. I know there was a viral meme for the combine. He said that's an example of just how focused you are on ball. What is that element of you and how important ball is to you?
Ball is real important, man. This is what I do each and every day. I'm just so fortunate to wake up and play football for a living. Thank you to God, but this is an opportunity I don't take lightly. So I gave my all to football because football gave us all to me. Just each and every day waking up, making sure this is one of the priorities for me if it's not God and my family. Just understanding what I got in front of me and never taking it for granted. And football has been so good to me, so I could give a damn about a haircut. All I want to do is know what team I'm going to, so I could get right.
Okay, so let's talk about teams, right? Because there's everybody out here wants to know where you're going to go. You know, you got two teammates, or you got a former teammate in Cam Ward that's with the Titans. I heard Jeffrey Simmons campaigning for you. What would you think about the Titans, or where do you kind of picture yourself?
Well, first, anywhere I go, it's a blessing, lifelong dream come true for me. But to play with Cam again and Jeffrey Simmons and JFM, with those caliber guys, it'd be nothing short of a blessing, just an opportunity where I could come in and try to earn their trust and earn the coach's trust and show from day one I'm here to help. I'm here to help, and I'm here to get us to go to the Super Bowl, and that's all I want to do. I want to win wherever I go. I feel like I got the kind of mentality and the skill set to do it, and I would love to just earn those guys' trust and show it to them, because Cam always tell me, every time you see me, say, "We coming to get you, man." So hopefully his word hold up, and wherever I go, I'm going to just give my all to that program.
Man, that would be fun. I'll tell you what, talking to coaches, scouts here, they all raved about you. They said, I don't care what people say about length or height. They said the power shows up. The ball shows up.
Yeah, man, like Mike Tyson. He wasn't the most tallest. He wasn't the tallest guy, or wasn't the longest limb guy, but when you felt him, you felt him. And you wish you kept your distance.
Absolutely. And a lot of offensive players don't want to feel Ruben Bain. Thank you for the time, man. Excited to see where you go next.
Yes, sir.
83 degrees in Miami today. Not even half of that right now in Jersey, Cam. So you and Ruben, I hope you enjoyed the weather down there. I certainly enjoyed that interview, and I also could give a damn about a haircut. Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft 3.0, just Miami players there in the first round. Remember the one year we had like 9 Miami players in the first round? DJ projecting 3 right now, including Ruben Bain there to the Washington Commanders. Mark, bringing you in here. Mark Ross, let's talk about some of these Miami prospects. Who are you looking at down there at the U?
Yeah, the U trying to get back to those glory days. Not quite there yet, but they're getting there. Ruben Bain is leading the charge right there for a great interview right there with Cam and Ruben. And, you know, with Ruben, when you watch the tape, like, you don't have to guess about what he does. I mean, he brings it every single play. He plays hard. He plays smart. And it's just the power you see. You see the relentless nature. You see that as well. So the arm length, of course, has been talked about, and it will keep being talked about in every draft meeting between now and the draft. They're going to talk about it in every single draft room about Ruben Bain and whether the short arms will show up in the NFL against bigger, longer competition. Yes, he referenced Mike Tyson until Mike Tyson got Buster Douglas knocked out by Buster, who had the length there. So, but Ruben Bain, though, you know what you're getting as far as all of the intangibles and the play effort. It's just whether that is going to show up, and you're not going to know that until he gets on an NFL field and plays against NFL competition. And on the flip side, his teammate there, Akeem Mesidor, who does have the length, his partner there, and again, another one you don't have to guess. When you turn on this tape, these two guys just bring it. And when I watched them, I actually thought Mesidor was more productive than Bain. Of course, his big thing is the age. He's an older player. If he was young like Ruben, 19, you'll probably see him up there higher. But because he is 24 years old, going on 25 this season, a team is going to take him and say, well, okay, how much are we going to get out of him? But just as far as the production, the pass rush skills, the relentless nature, once again, and the feel for the game, he has that as well, Mike. So both of these guys, it's just whether they're going to be good enough. The age for Mesidor, the length for Bain will be the big questions leading up to the draft.
Yeah, it wasn't 9 in 1 year. It was 19 in 4 years. First round picks for Miami from 2001 to 2004. The last one being Vince Wilfork, the 21st overall pick in 2004. I love draft history. It's great. Mark Ross there with the insight on Miami. Plenty more to come here on The Insider.
Welcome back to The Insiders. Time for Active Moves presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. I'm Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, Jeffrey Chadilla, Mark Ross in here as well. Jeffrey, you have an article up on NFL.com looking at the best moves, 10 best moves of the 2026 offseason so far. Why don't you get us started and break down one that you like?
Well, I'll start with the one that was one of the big blockbusters, the trade the Rams made to get Trent McDuffie at cornerback. Obviously, that was a big position the Rams wanted to address, but they got a great player, a guy who's won two Super Bowls, a player who can play in the slot and be a dominant presence. You saw the impact that Jaxon Smith-Njigba had in Seattle. Now you have a guy who can match up with him a couple times a year and maybe neutralize him. And obviously, you've got Trent McDuffie going back to L.A., where he's from. So, great person, great player. I think the Rams got a leader who can help this team win a Super Bowl because that's what they've been trying to do for the last couple of years.
For sure, Jeffrey, really loved that one. And I thought it was a joke when I saw it come across. Like, really, the Rams went and got Trent McDuffie? And look, then they doubled down, got Jalen Watson. So there's nobody like the Rams to say, we know what our issues are, and we're going to go attack it and go get it. We saw them do that before with the F those picks and going to get a Super Bowl. Well, now they're doing it again. Say, let's go get some corners to stop this guy that just got paid all that money.
All right, Jeffrey, your number 2 best move of the offseason so far.
Well, I know there was a lot of noise made by the Baltimore Ravens when they backed out of that trade for Max Crosby, and I know it was a ripple effect, but Trey Hendrickson coming in is still a pretty good player, and they get to keep those 2 first-round picks. So I love this move for that combination. Trey Hendrickson was a guy who led the league in sacks a couple years ago. He's had 34 sacks in the previous 2 years. Yeah, he was hurt last year with that core muscle surgery, but again, he's coming in. He can impact a team that has been trying to get their pass rush going for a long time. I think about having a dominant edge player at that position. They haven't had a guy like that since Terrell Suggs was in town back in 2017. So that defense with Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Mark, you bring Henderson into that, they're going to be pretty good, pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. I think Eric DeCosta will be thanking that team doctor who saw a little bit something extra in Max Crosby's situation there to save them and say, I would much rather have Trey Hendrickson and those 2 first-round picks than just Max Crosby. Because, look, the Ravens' issues go a lot deeper than just one player. And now you get Trey Hendrickson with that production as a pass rusher and still have those 2 first-round picks to address some of those other needs because they lost a ton of other players in free agency. So for the Ravens, I think this set up really nice for them to get Trey and then still be able to hit on those draft picks.
God, that was such a wild span. That was like a 12, 14-hour span, just an absolute whirlwind for the Baltimore Ravens. Jeffrey, on your list, you also featured the Atlanta Falcons pretty prominently. Why?
I do. I like the Tua Tagovailoa signing. It's a 1-year deal, veteran minimum. He's coming in there with a lot to prove. He's coming in to play with a guy, Kevin Stefanski, who has had success with quarterbacks like him. He's coming into a team that has Bijan Robinson, that has Drake London, that has Kyle Pitts, all these weapons that he could utilize. And maybe I'm being optimistic here. I know Mark may differ with me on this one, but I feel like Tua Tagovailoa could be this year's Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield because we're seeing those guys go to other places, having impact, getting better coaches. Yeah, it didn't work out last year and he got benched in Miami, but Mark, he's got a great opportunity to come in here with Michael Penix banged up and a chance to restart his career.
Yeah, a couple things there. You said Michael Penix banged up, and can Tua stay out of which one of those guys is going to stay out of the training room the longest? And that's really was my big concern. Because it is no money, then this looks a lot better. But again, you mentioned Tua getting benched. And Tua always had his limitations and flaws. And then last year, it all fell apart for him, where he looked like even the things he did well before, he wasn't doing those things well, wasn't seeing the field quickly, wasn't getting the ball out, wasn't accurate down the field. So has these injuries really taken a toll where now he's a shot fighter or a shot quarterback? We'll see in this new environment and with a whole lot of other playmakers around him, whether he's that Tua that got benched or the Tua that was playing well.
Jeffrey, the Steelers also on your list. Can't be for what they did at the quarterback position because they haven't done anything at the quarterback position. We're still waiting on that decision, but what else have you seen from the Steelers?
Oh, yeah, if you can't get the quarterback, at least start building up something to attract the quarterback back to play football. If that's Aaron Rodgers or somebody else, at least bringing in Michael Pittman Jr. here is a nice move for this team because they made the blockbuster trade last year for DK Metcalf. And when you saw that offense, when Metcalf wasn't out there, not enough weapons around him. Like he caught 59 passes. The next best total for wide receiver was Calvin Austin at 31 catches. You bring in Pittman, who you see what he's doing here, working underneath, doing the dirty work. He caught 80 passes last year. I know he wasn't, the guy was a couple years ago when he was over 100 catches. But again, pairing him with Metcalf, the deep threat, underneath guy, if you're Aaron Rodgers, Mark, you have to be happy about this move.
Yeah, I thought these moves with the Steelers and also the signing of Rico Dowdle set up that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back because what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers over the last few years, got to get the ball out as quickly as possible and really with DK Metcalf, hey, go win. So here you go, you bring in another guy in Pittman, a bigger, stronger guy that doesn't need much time. Even when he's covered, you're hoping he comes down with the ball. So to me, all indications were, okay, we're going to have 2 big bullies on the outside because Aaron's got to get this out super quick. And you guys go win for me, and let's go run the ball, play Steelers defense. So I think all indications are showing that Aaron will be back with this setup.
No doubt. I mean, it certainly looks like that based on the moves they've done. If not, we're going to be talking a lot about the Steelers and the draft at the quarterback position. Plenty of time there. Guys, thank you very much. NFL.com/firstread to see Jeffrey's entire article. That was excellent stuff on what has been a whirlwind offseason thus far. Not that we're done, because after this, we shift our focus to the draft. That guy right there, Aaron Glenn, Andy Reid, among the coaches whose teams have multiple first-round picks. Dallas Cowboys as well, by the way. They can thank Quinn for that. We are going to get into it coming up next on The Insiders.
"31 days away from the start of the 2026 NFL Draft, April 23rd in Pittsburgh. You can see it all over the place, including right here on NFL Network. Got a pretty good idea when Fernando Mendoza will go, but how about Jeremiah Love? How about Ruben Bain Jr.? Maybe one of these teams that's got multiple first-round picks could take some of those players. The Jets, Browns, Chiefs, Dolphins, and Cowboys, by virtue of prior trades, all with a whole lot of ammunition. Just one of many reasons that there is intrigue here in the 2026 draft. Welcome back to the Insiders. Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Judy Battista, Mike Garafolo. Judy, I start with you. Those 5 teams sitting on multiple first-round picks. Who you got? Who interests you?
I am watching the Miami Dolphins. I think we're probably going to be watching the Miami Dolphins for more than one offseason as they rebuild this franchise. They are in total teardown mode. The Waddle trade made a lot of sense. There wasn't much point in keeping him around, move him while he had maximum value. That's how they got their second first-round pick. They are taking all of their salary cap medicine right now. They have a dead cap hit right now of over $180 million. But that means that next year they're going to be in much better shape, projected to have over $100 million in cap space. This is how you accelerate a rebuild. You get draft capital, you clear a whole lot of salary cap issues so that you have a lot of cap space. That's what they are hoping for in Miami. Going to be really interesting to see how Malik Willis does, though, this year under these circumstances.
Dolphins have a lot of needs, but you'd expect that from the Dolphins. You know who else got a lot of needs? Kansas City Chiefs. Bring up the NFL.com needs, because I'm dying to see. Cornerback, yeah, both of them just left for free agency for the Rams, or traded in free agency for the Rams. Wide receiver, yeah. Edge. Do we have offensive line there? Is that a DL or an OL? I mean, they've got a ton of needs. And everything I heard about the Chiefs this offseason was, that they didn't have the money to spend. Like we were talking about, could they be after this? No, we don't have that much money. Well, they've got draft picks, and they need to make something happen with those. Like the 9th and the 29th pick need to be playing for the Chiefs right away if they're going to reload here and get ready to get back to the Chiefs of glory from the last couple of years. Fascinated to see what the Chiefs do.
You want to accelerate a rebuild? How about the New York Jets? They had basically their 2 best players last year around the trade deadline. There's some rumors about one, not as many rumors about the other. Both of them, Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, both got traded for multiple first-round picks. And really what that means for the Jets is they have 2 first-rounders in this draft, 3 in the next draft, and they may not even end up taking a quarterback here just because it might not line up. What the Jets seem like they are looking to do is use this year as a transition year to stock up around the quarterback position. They got all that draft capital next year. However they do, plenty enough ammo to trade up for a quarterback or trade up for whoever they want. Certainly seems to be a 2-year process for the Jets. And I know for their fans, the wait until next year thing has been, a little mildly frustrating for the last 30 or so years. This is a year where it actually really makes sense. They are looking good for the future.
I'll say the Dallas Cowboys. That Quinnen Williams trade you just mentioned involved a first-round pick in 2027, so Dallas still has their own first, plus Green Bay's first for the Micah Parsons trade, and it all tracks back to that. Jerry Jones said recently, and I'm paraphrasing here, we played a lick of defense last season. We're a playoff team. So you've seen the investment to go get a Quinnen Williams. They just traded for Rashawn Gary, and you look across the defense, you still go, they got a lot of work left to do. They need edge help still. They need help at corner. They could use another linebacker here. They got Christian Parker, a really bright young assistant now, as the DC, but he's going to be running a totally different system from what they ostensibly were building it for last year with Matt Eberflus continuing to inject some talent into that defense, some youth into that defense. I'm just interested to see. They also have been involved in other trade talks. They were involved on Max Crosby. Could they even get the idea up their sleeves? Let's trade one of those first-round picks to get a player right before or during the draft. Ton of intrigue, as always, with the Dallas Cowboys. We got more to come here on the Insiders as we run you up to 31 days out from the NFL Draft. Let's head back to Miami after this. That man, Ruben Bain, still hasn't gotten a haircut, but he can throw around some weight. So can Mario Cristobal. He's got a pretty good program. He caught up with our Cameron Wolf. Hear it next on the Insiders.
We were in the same chairs last year when Cam Ward had his pro day. You told me you'll be back next year for my linemen. Here we are. You were right, and you've got 3 guys on both sides of the ball that could potentially go in the first round. What does this mean for the program to be able to create a pipeline where you have 100-plus NFL personnel, head coach, GMs here for Miami?
Well, number one, thanks for having me on here. Number 2, you're going to be back next year. Okay, and number 3, it's complete validation for what we, from the day we got here, what we preached What we gave our word to was to just relentlessly go and recruit the best players in the country and then develop them to the highest level so we can win at a big-time level, so we can elevate the profile of the program, graduate at the highest level, and, of course, prepare these guys for the NFL. And seeing that, I haven't seen that since I can't even remember,
right?
Like that. So it's an incredible feeling. And our underclassmen got to see that. And then we shut them off the class. You know what I mean? So let them know that it takes a lot, but it's an awesome day.
So I want to start you with Ruben Bain and Francis Mauigoa. These are guys you've talked about being cornerstones of your program, right? And here they are being able to build themselves to this point. Can you maybe paint the picture of the development of getting them from high school to now where they are going to the league?
Well, I mean, I remember sitting outside of Hard Rock Stadium with them after some brutal games.
Yeah.
In our first year, and letting them know that we are going to build this thing from the inside out, and they were, like you mentioned, the cornerstones of this whole thing, and watching those guys on a daily basis go after each other, I mean, it's Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. It really is. The battles were they're legendary, and the best part about it, those guys would seek each other out every day. Never did they duck each other. Oh, I'm too sore, let's ease up. Never once.
Right.
Those guys went at it. They set the tone. They set the standard, and you know what? They were agents of change that elevated this program.
So let's take me into those battles if I can, and I'll include Akeem Mesidor in there too. Is there a moment, is there a day in practice that you think of those battles on that side of the ball? What does that look like?
I mean, it's daily. We could go and watch hours and hours of film. I don't think people realize how explosive Akeem Mesidor is, because Akeem did it at the shade, at the 3, at the 5, at the 9. And having those two guys every day in practice, I mean, I was happy about our O-line because we got some dudes, and I'm watching those guys. It's like, all right, here we go, let it eat. And they made each other better. They made the whole team better. And you mentioned 3 guys right there that invaluable and just priceless, the ability to go against each other, but also, you know what, elite human beings.
Right.
Super high care factor, driven, push their teammates all the time, hold themselves accountable, hold their teammates accountable. Just whoever gets these guys, going to be extremely happy.
I want to ask you a little bit about Ruben Bain, because this process is interesting. Everybody wants to pick apart what a guy is or isn't. But I've seen him and I heard him talk about being a guy from Miami Central and joining this program and building it to the way he is. And all the coaches I talked to talked about his incredible power and how you just watch the tape. What have you maybe seen from his behind the scenes develop and maybe overcoming what people say he can't do?
Well, I haven't seen him not do everything he set out to do. And at the end of the day, football is not a beauty contest. It's not a pageant.
Right.
It's not. It's competition. And in the trenches, at the line of scrimmage, there's no one better than him and Akeem Mesidor. And they proved it. And they played against the most highly touted, highly regarded offensive lines and offensive linemen. And they were the reason, one of the biggest reasons why we were effective in those games and won those games. So their proof is on tape, and tape does not lie. And so I think it's as clear as the day is long. Anything that in any way, shape, or form tries to take away from that reality is laughable on this side. I can't wait to watch those guys be elite pros.
Right, and you could have 3 first-round picks here in the first time in 15, 20 years at the University of Miami. I think it's incredible to watch, and there's a handful of guys we didn't even mention that are going to get a lot of pub. Keontae Scott had a great day.
Oh my
Carson
God.
Beck, a lot of guys there. But
Agent Zero, by the way, Keontae Scott. He ran 4.3 today.
Yeah.
I think they clocked, somebody had him at 4.27.
Right.
And people don't realize that guy was banged up. Doctor said, hey, we'll evaluate in a couple weeks. He called the doctor. And he called me and said, Coach, I'm fine. Just meet me on the field. Watch me run. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And he went. And he's a monster reason why. Well, you guys saw the Ohio State game, right?
Yeah, we did.
And you saw him at Texas A&M also. This guy is, you're looking at a team that was as tough, as physical, as gritty as you can imagine. And the guys that land these players, you mentioned Jacoby Thomas, Carson Beck, C.J. Daniels. There's so many of them. That have David Blaze, one that I think is going to make an unbelievable player for a squad. So I can't wait to watch these guys play.
Absolutely. Seems like teams are getting a great dude. We thank you and look forward to seeing you next year, as you've predicted now
You
again
will
for
be
us.
right here again. Book it next year. Go Canes.
You heard it here.